Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, episode 3 of Superman and Lois season 2 has come along. It was called The Thing in the Mines, and I was hoping it was going to be a bit more about the thing in the mines and a bit more mysterious, because I like the whole thing in the mines and affecting the whole town. I like most of the things in this show, they move too quickly. There's moments I'm enjoying, and I want them to expand on it, and then they sort of climax and then go to something else, and I feel like they're rushing through stories a bit. But this episode is interesting because I thought I knew what it was. I'd heard that it was Doomsday that was in the mines, and I had a vague memory of what Doomsday was from the film. I've seen it twice, forgive me. I have to look through this to know what's happening half the time, because I'm a casual follower of Superman. I saw the movies when I was a kid. I watched Lois and Clark, and that's about it. I didn't really read the comics. I had a few comics here and there, but I love Superman. I appreciate Superman. I enjoy Superman, but I don't know enough about it to really be into it like some people. And it's good in a way because it means I get to just passively enjoy the show, and I'm not overly invested in what's going to happen and why it's going to happen and how it's going to happen and how it should happen in the comic, blah, 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 like a lot of people get caught up with. Because I'm like that with Star Trek, and it is a miserable viewing experience because you know more than the people making the show, and everything drives you insane. This, I'm just sitting back watching passively going, what's going to happen next? I'm actually enjoying it. But yeah, so this episode, a bit happened. The boys, we'll start with them because they're sort of the small story. Jordan and Jonathan, his girlfriend is selling drugs to ex-Krypton or whatever, to one of his rivals on the field, and now he's getting picked and doing better than him because he's enhanced. And the other one is trying to work out how to get past his girlfriend kissing a girl, not immediately telling him. So they have the little dramas. One of them has a fight on the field with the kid who's taking the steroids, or the Kryptonian steroids, because he actually, of course, told him, oh, your girl's selling it to me, by the way, which, of course, was just humiliating for him. He goes and talks to her, and he basically says, look, I'm okay with it, just sell it to me. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, okay, I didn't think this character was this stupid. I thought they were writing a smarter character than this, but we'll see where this goes. Now, Lana is still pushing to be the mayor. She's struggling to deal with, the typical old beard, and I'm not going to use any terms, the type of guy that she's dealing with. And her first debate didn't go so well. It wasn't a proper debate. She was just talking in public and that, and some people asked her a bunch of questions and threw a bunch of insults and accusations at her, and she sort of didn't really counter them really well. And then she countered it with a cooking stream with her daughter, and people started asking her questions online. So she hasn't given up. She momentarily thought of giving up, but didn't. Now, what's next? I think Superman, his story, basically, he is still struggling. He crashed when he was trying to approach the mines, because what's down the mines is affecting him. He's feeling what it's feeling. He feels trapped and he wants to escape. And he loses his temper with the boys. His eyes go red, and he actually shoots his eye lasers into his hands in rage to control himself, because he can't control himself. And he was embarrassed by the fact that he let his temper go in front of the boys, and couldn't control himself. And he's really struggling with that, and he's afraid of hurting them. But eventually this comes to a head when this being just bursts right out of the mine. This is after the lady who's in charge of the mines actually, what's his name? John Henry, beat him over the head because he was down there investigating it, trying to work out what it was still. And she beat him over there because she's part of it all. He gets out in time to help Clark because, of course, Clark tries to take on this being. It comes out, it lands, it's in a big suit, and I thought, oh, well, that's Doomsday. And he flies in, they fight. It's pretty much, he's kicking Superman around pretty hard, and they get into it, and it's pretty matched. And then eventually he breaks his helmet, and we see it's Clark inside. It's some sort of zombie version of Superman. So I thought, is that Bizarro Superman? I had to look at my book and I'm like, okay, maybe that's Bizarro Superman. So that can't be Doomsday then, because Doomsday wasn't Bizarro Superman. He was a whole other bunch of experiments. So I don't quite know where they're going, except maybe they're trying to, lead us in different directions and let us think one thing and then go in another direction. I would have liked it if they spent a bit more time with the mystery of what's in the mine and not gotten to it so quickly, because it's already out and already fought Clark and run off. And I always feel like this. The only thing I don't like about the show is sometimes I get excited for things that are going to come because I feel like they're teasing things, and then they just end them so quickly and they're on to the next thing. Maybe it's an issue of having only 10 or so episodes a season now instead of 22 like in an old show, but things go really quick, in a good show anyway. And I'm really glad to have a good weekly show to follow. I haven't had one for years. Last thing I remember watching week to week was American Horror Story before Gaga went on it. And that's about it. And I'm also watching Sex and the City's spin-off and just like that as well each week. So it's good. I haven't done this for a while. It's exciting, but I think that's the end of the story. Basically, they realise that they're in trouble because it's some version of Clark, and of course that's an even match, and they have no idea what to do. He disappears and goes to what I'm guessing is what's left of the Fortress of Solitude, or somewhere, I don't know. It was like in the ice, in the snow, and I couldn't tell what he was saying, and I didn't have subtitles. So it sounded like he just said mine, like this is mine. But I'm not sure what he said. I'm not sure what he said to Clark either. He said like one line, I think it was 2 words to him, and then he flew off. I rewound it a couple of times, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. So they were debating whether or not to tell the army about this. The army, of course, is going to send in the kids that are special, and they're going to probably be killed. So they're going to try and Clark and what's his name again? John Henry are going to try and take him on and see what happens before they turn to other people. Lois and her father suggested they should get help, but they convinced them that they should at least try to do it themselves first. Now, the other thing that was happening, I thought, was Lois, of course, found out that Lana was one of the people that was talking about the old case and everything, and this cult leader shows up. She's supposed to be meeting Lana because the dad, there's all this drama with the dad never being on her side and not reading the article, not understanding the problem. He reads the article, he realises how close he came to losing his daughter and so forth, and what this cult leader is guilty of and all this. And then she goes to meet Lana, and the cult leader lady walks in and comes and sits down and says, we thought it was a good idea for me to meet you instead. I'm like, yeah, because that's not controlling, because that's not something a cult leader would do, not allow people to speak. So that's a bit of a worry. And of course Lois didn't do anything, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, destroy her. You've got to save your sister. This lady is obviously, so this is going to be a whole other story, or maybe it's just going to be Lois' story. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about Superman to know not Lana Lang's history, her sister's history. So I don't know where this is going, and that's the fun of it. I don't know where this is going, and I don't have any real criticisms of it because I don't know enough about the comic to ruin it. Like I said with Star Trek. So I'm just going to go back to waiting for the next episode, having no idea what's going to happen, and enjoy it. So feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.